We're going to remember this as things that happened before Sandy and after Sandy. And life is just going to be different.
Hurricane season in this community is so important. I mean, it's what we look forward to all summer. It's flat all summer long, so when a hurricane's coming up the coast, you know, we're frothing.
I think hurricane season for East Coast surfers is what they look forward to all year. I'm not even from the East Coast, and I hope for hurricane swells because I know that that's going to bump the quality up and you're going to get some of the best waves of your life.
We sit on our computers and watch the Weather Channel, looking for the right winds and where we should go.
Usually when they strike, the water's still warm. There's nothing better than being in trunks.
You know, on the left-hand side of Bermuda and just up and then veer to the right. Hopefully sit there for a day and two. Absolutely perfect waves right here.
The ones that kind of come very close to the coastline, you know, right after those things pass by are some of the most epic days you've ever seen here.
You know, the ocean is considered to be dangerous. It looks daunting and scary, and for us, we go towards it. So a hurricane is never really thought of in terms of like danger as much as like fun surfing.
If the storm comes in September, you know, everybody's going back to school, people are back to work, vacationers are gone. I mean, lucky for us, you can get, you know, perfect waves just with just your friends alone.
Surf till you can't even feel your arms. Get out, eat food for 5 minutes, go right back in, surf all day long until you're shot. Sun goes down, and then hope there's something left the next day.
Hurricane season for surfers here on the East Coast, you know, it's both a pleasure and stress. You know, while we certainly get to enjoy the best waves of the year, oftentimes it's also a lot of distress for a lot of people.
This morning I formally declared a state of emergency.
The deepening center of this storm is a kind of
Hurricane
exploding
Sandy.
overnight.
Rapidly intensified
By the time
within
we get
hours.
into Monday, wind field from this storm is incredibly impressive.
I think surfers have just a very good understanding. You know, you're going to hear surfers talking about the ship's model and the millbars and, you know, the winds in the northeast quadrant. Surfers study this stuff like intently because there is a chance that we could get this amazing 6-foot day out of it. When we were tracking Sandy, right away, the early models showed this storm just basically plowing into our coast. Because we do study storms, we understood that this thing is going to form with a mid-latitude low, and this is going to be stronger than anything we've ever seen. This was truly a 100-year storm.
It's a full moon, there's a high tide, it's all these factors, and then the nor'easter that held it there. I mean, it was still the mindset of like, oh, it's gonna be a bad storm, but let's go get some waves.
That one prediction came out where they showed it taking a beeline into land.
Devastating storm that will hit New Jersey beginning Sunday night and be in full force by Monday.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen. When it comes to surfing big waves and training for big waves, I don't ever get to do my sport in my backyard, ever. I've never seen any destruction ever in my life in New York with hurricanes, so I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I thought we were going to get good waves and just batten down the hatches.
This one was another animal. When I saw the barometric pressure drop in the way it was, even though it was only a Category 1, we knew it was going to be a bad one.
I surfed on the Saturday, and the storm really kind of hit on late Sunday. You were surfing more to go and surf one more time before things were altered forever. Humans generally are very interested in the power of nature and train wrecks. And you know, this was the power of nature and the greatest train wreck that was ever going to happen. So I think in the back of our mind, we're all very curious, but then it was like, well, is my house, is my life, my community, what's going to happen when this thing hits?
Basically, the day the storm hit, it just started, it was building like 3 feet every hour. After like an amazing day of like surfing, some of the biggest waves I've ever seen in New York, 3 hours later, I was watching my cars floating down the road, watching my dog swimming in my living room.
The storm hasn't made landfall yet. The waves were already hitting under the boardwalk and bouncing off, and I knew at that point that's not a good sign.
There was so much water in the area being pushed up here from the hurricane before it got here that when the hurricane passed to the south, there was nowhere for all that water to go except for into the coastline.
People were saying, you know, the tide's not even high yet. That's when people really started getting a little nervous.
Once the nightfall came, that's when things started really turning up.
So it's difficult to categorize this storm as anything other than a superstorm. It's a hurricane and then some.
You know, the buoy readings were the largest that I've ever seen since I've been looking at them. They were pushing 31 feet. That's huge.
Coming around the corner, oh boy. This is not good.
The surf was onshore. It took these giant buildings in the back that were on blocks and tossed them around like toys.
The wind that evening up here on the hill was probably blowing about, it must have been 90 or 100 miles an hour.
It was absolute chaos. There was 3 or 4 tremendous, huge, out of control fires.
I took the dog and my mom on the back of the jet ski and I drove my jet ski through town.
We listened to the transformers explode and felt the ground shake, and it was pretty wild.
I don't think anyone could predict what happened here. It was real, you know. The ocean met the sound, and it was the most alive I've ever seen Mother Nature. It was heavy. It was nuts.
It showed its face. It showed its face all of, you know, the East Coast. It showed them how powerful it was, and it really, it's a humbling thing, you know.
One hearts don't lie.
The scope of destruction, it was so big. I mean, it's 220 miles.
I don't think any of us imagined it was going to be this devastating.
Number one, what do I got to do to save the shop, you know? This has been my livelihood for most of my life.
I think it's extremely important for the surf community to rally. There is a huge opportunity here to rewrite the stereotype of surfers.